at 5, medicine is constantly changing as doctors continue to learn about what makes a disease tick. It's that research and studying of diseases that helps doctors get closer to finding a cure for cancer. News 8's Cody Adams joins us now with more on the research of childhood cancer.
Yeah, Alexis, the idea is to learn from our past, to find out what we can do better and how we can eradicate cancer altogether. It takes a lot of research, and that's something the doctors at Riley Hospital for Children are doing constantly.
In order to cure a disease, you have to figure out what the disease is. How does it work? What is the science behind it? What are the changes that turn a normal cell into a cancer cell?
Dr. Kent Robertson has been at Riley since the early 90s, helping the hospital become one of the leaders in stem cell transplants.
Looking at these cells from a scientific standpoint as to how are they different from normal blood cells? What makes them tick? And it's the research that has come in from a number of centers around the world that address these issues of what makes these tick that has continually allows therapy to be modified.
It's not just treatment that Dr. Jody Skiles and her team focus on. The study and research of disease and treatment is just as important.
There are a lot of diseases for which a lot has changed, and the new wave of immunotherapy coming down the pike and gene therapy and gene editing, I think we are going to have so many treatment modalities available to patients that really will impact lives, both in terms of survival but also in terms of absence of toxicity. That is just incredibly exciting. So the work that's happening is really good. It always moves slower than we hope.
Dr. Skiles says the research would not be possible if not for the families being willing to help.
We recognize that it is a huge sacrifice for families. It's already hard to be going through what families are going through, but then to be willing to allow other people to learn from your kid's journey is an unbelievable gift that families give when they are willing to participate in a clinical trial.
Our 7-year-old daughter, Maddie, is a prime example. Her form of leukemia accounts for 1% of all childhood leukemia. The fact that she was so young was another reason she was perfect for a new trial that was happening.
We have to be patient and persistent in allowing the science to guide us about what the next best steps are. And this is why clinical trial enrollment and research are so vitally important, because we will never make progress without that piece.
Maddie was one of a dozen or so children enrolled in the study across the country. The goal of the study was to see if children could be treated with lighter, less strenuous form of chemotherapy. One half of the study would get the new chemo regimen, while the other half would get the normal harsh regimen. Maddie got the normal hard regimen. In that moment, we were devastated. As it turns out, we were lucky.
We would never know, if it weren't for that trial that Maddie was on, that the intensity of therapy that she got, which was really hard, is actually necessary.
Dr. Skiles says that's part of the research process. It doesn't always go the way we hope. Something that could work on paper doesn't always pan out in the actual study, but it can lead to other possibilities.
As sad as those situations are, it fuels our passion and desire to keep science moving forward and to keep finding better solutions for patients and families.
The research into finding a cure is continuous, but it wouldn't be possible without funding. This was part 3 of my series on childhood cancer. We've made it really easy for you to go back and see part 1 and part 2. You just grab your phone right now, scan the QR code there on your screen. That'll take you right to the Inside Story page on wishtv.com. Now, tomorrow in part 4 of our series, we'll take a look at how much the government puts toward childhood cancer research and why you actually do make a difference with every dollar raised. Cody Adams, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.